Back to reading Excel files. So in my working directory, I have a file called excelfile.xlsx, and I'll use the read_excel function to read that file in. Now the read_excel function also has arguments. The sheet argument, if we've worked with Excel before, we know that Excel files have sheets, which are like pages in an Excel workbook. So the sheet argument allows you to supply which sheet you want to pick, or all the sheets, or the first, as the case may be. Now the range in an Excel file itself, within each file, there's a range of cells that we may be interested in, and that's what we supply to the range argument. And then the call names argument is similar to the read_CSV call names argument, where we tell the function if the column, the first row, is the name of the column. Call types is similar. NA is what will represent absent or missing values. Trim white space if we want to eliminate any spaces after the characters. And then skip. Now the skip argument is important. It tells the function whether or not to skip the first few lines. Now in some Excel files, the first few lines may be blank. They may represent just some extra information about the file. So the skip argument, you use it to tell the function how many lines to skip before it starts to read. So now if I run this code, the Excel file.xlx folder on my laptop is read in. Now there are 25 variables, but the what's the word? The rows are empty. That's why we see it like this. But it works for any Excel file. Yes, it works for any Excel file and reads in the contents of that file so that we can work with it in R. The read_xls function works similar, but reads specifically XLS files. Same with the XLSX function. Now this, sorry, I didn't say this. XLS and XLSX, they are file types for Excel files. So newer files are XLSX and older files are XLS, depending on what version of Excel is used to save the file. And that's basically it for reading in Excel files. Now, after you've worked with a certain file, maybe you've done an analysis or you've modified the file in a way, it may be important to save that file outside of R so that you can work with the file again and again and again. So the write_CSV function does the reverse of what the read_CSV function does. It writes files to, it writes data in R to files on your system. So the syntax is somewhat similar to the read_SLX, to the read_CSV function. Sorry, but what it does is this. Now the first argument is the name of the data set you want to save. So it could be a data frame, a table, however it is. The first argument is the name of what you want to save to a file, and then you separate that with a comma, and then you type the name of the file you want to save it, as well as the extension. So you could either type just the name and it will save to your working directory, or you could type the full path. So if I wanted to save it in my root directory, I would just type C like this, and it will save it to my root directory. Or if I wanted to save it to my users folder, like this. But without those paths, it will just save it to your working directory. That's why it's important to set your working directory and to know it, so that you know where your files are being saved to. So the write.csv function does that, and then you can supply what you want it to save missing values as. You could either save them as NA or as a blank space or whatever, depending on your preference. And then the append function. Now, what the append function does is, if you set the append function to the append argument, sorry, to true, it adds the For example, I've saved df and I want to save something else. If append is true, it will just save that new information to the bottom of what I had saved previously. But usually it's false because you want to create a new file. So that's what the write.csv function does. There's also a write.ts underscore, not dot, underscore tsv. And those functions simply write to a file so that you can have access to data you've worked with in R after you may be done with your analysis. So like I said earlier, to get a much deeper insight into these functions, it's important to learn to use the help system in R. It's very helpful and it gives you a lot of information as well as examples on how to work with the functions. So if I were to type question mark to get access to the help, you just type question mark and the name of the function you want to work with. So question mark write underscore csv, and then if you press Ctrl Shift 3, it widens your, or it maximizes your help folder. So if I press Ctrl Shift 3, I can enlarge this and read this information easier. So as you can see, it gives you the different forms of the write function, the write underscore delim csv, csv2, excel underscore csv. Then it gives you an explanation of what each argument does, and then examples on how to work with each of them. So it's very, very helpful. So back to our script. After working with the write.csv and you are done, you can then close everything and carry on. Now that's that for writing files. So we've covered Tibbles, we've covered importing data, either CSV files, CSV files, delim files. We've also covered reading from Excel, where you have an Excel file, either XLS or XLSX, and you want to do some analysis in R, how to import that file into R. And then writing to a file when you're done, how to save the information you worked with to a file so that it can be accessible later on. Now, all these importing data has been done on files that are locally on your system. Very often, we may have information on the internet that we want to have access to, and the rvest package helps us work with that. So rvest is a package for web scraping. It allows you to extract information from websites and work with that information in R. So the package was created by, or the author, sorry, is Adley Wickham. Okay, no, sorry, please ignore this. So now the uses of rvest, like I said, is used in extracting information you need from web pages. And there are multiple functions in the rvest package that are supposed to help you do this. So read underscore HTML, which allows you to scrape HTML content from a given web page. Then, okay, to work optimally with the rvest package, you have to have a basic idea of how websites look in their code. So the read underscore HTML function scrapes the HTML content from a web page. The HTML content is like the text that underlies the entire page. So it just scrapes the entire text and enters it into R. Then these other functions now allow you remove specific information from that HTML text. For example, HTML underscore table will convert any tables in that web page into data frames. HTML underscore text will remove all the HTML tags and extract only the text for you. So as a practical example, we have a web page. This is the URL to a web page. Let me just open the web page so we have an idea of what